Dante, I'm curious on where the Orange Bowl offensive MVP trophy is and how if that was difficult getting that back at all.
Yeah. At first, there was a video of me like caught in the moment. I didn't know they were announcing the MVPs and stuff. I was more engaged with the fans, but yeah, that trophy was super heavy. A lot of oranges, of course. But yeah, it was a great, great moment. As a kid, you dreamed about those things, and glad we got the win, and we're carrying on to this week.
Front left, James.
You talked about how you made the regular season matchup more than what it was and didn't have as much joy. What has the last few days been like, and how have you carried yourself differently mentally approaching this one?
Yeah. Like you say, in the past I talked about it. It was just made the game bigger than what it was, and this week I kind of just attacked it like how I've been doing these past weeks. Making sure I have the same routine when it comes to watching film, preparing my body, just getting ready for this moment, like I've been doing with JMU and Texas Tech. But yeah, this week, we're still the same offense. We're just having fun. Of course, practice we've been having some little bit of mistakes, but that's what practice is all about. You got to learn from it. But yeah, Indiana's a great competitive team, and we're just ready to go out there, play football. It's 11-11 at the end of the day, and we're excited for it.
Second row left, John.
Henry was just in here saying that he's been impressed by your growth as a leader for the blocking unit when it comes to setting protections and stuff like that after that first game. Just how have you seen yourself continue to develop in the pre-snap stuff and getting everything set, especially when you're going against a defense that's going to throw as much stuff as they do?
Yeah, I got to give their DC and the 11 guys on defense their credit. They do a great job bringing multiple different pressures, showing different looks, pre-snap and then going post-snap. So yeah, just kind of just watching the film. At the end of the day, of course, they might throw something new out there. It's just how game plans work, and they might get us on it, and then that's when you go to the sideline and watch the film and see we can go from there and just learn from it. So at the end of the day, I've been just taking these protections and these, run game things important. At the end of the day, you got to protect yourself, you got to protect your body. If I had to give a quarterback tip, for any incoming freshmen, I'll say learn protections first, because at the end of the day, everybody can spin the ball, but you can't spin the ball while you're on your back. So you got to make sure that you get the protections right. And I've been kind of taking that more seriously, just understanding, body health and making sure that, we can move the ball and keep moving the chains.
Right next to him, Eric.
What I guess, what did you take away? What were you taught from the first game with Indiana, and how valuable could those lessons be in a rematch?
Yeah, I was too fast on my progressions. There was some times where there was an open guy, and you can say I was kind of seeing ghosts out there. It was more of just trying to get through my progressions too fast. And another thing too is when I climb into the pocket, I tend to, I was trying to rush and get out. And there were some times where I can climb into the pocket and there was no need for me to move. So those are probably the two biggest things. Just gotta learn from there. But yeah, I'm feeling real confident and excited.
Back right, back here, Aaron.
Just in that first half against Texas Tech, you guys were able to move the chains, but just couldn't finish in the end zone. Just what have you maybe done in preparation for this semifinal matchup to kind of improve that and improve the finishing?
Yeah, gotta love our kicker Atticus. He does a great job making kicks, and yeah, as a quarterback, of course, you want to get the ball in the end zone. You want to score touchdowns, put points up. But yeah, Texas Tech defense was amazing. They did a great job, of course, stopping us on short runs. They just had a great game plan, and at the end of the day, of course, we beat ourselves sometimes. We shot ourselves in the foot, and we kind of got to learn from there and just go from there. So, we had a lot of mistakes that's corrected this week, and we're excited to put points on the board.
Front left, James.
A couple of guys have mentioned that Coach Lanning cited March Madness and the way teams peak at that time and how key that is at this time. What have you taken from that message, and can you share a little bit more of the detail of what he was saying?
Yeah, Coach Lanning does a great job preparing us. That's somebody that talks to different coaches when it comes to the professional or to even college. Let's understand how to prep a week or prep your season, and not many coaches can do that. Not many coaches will put their pride aside and learn from other coaches, and Coach Lanning does a great job just doing that. And he makes sure that he has the best schedule for us when it comes to just preparing us for games, knowing that college football isn't just, two get playoff games and that's the national championship. It's multiple games now. So he talked to, of course, coaches about the March Madness bracket, and that's just how it looks and how it works. You got to make sure that you have a great plan, not overkilling the team, not keeping us exhausted. Make sure we have great energy, just having our minds fixed on the right thing. So he's done a great job. And at the end of the day, he's still learning. He's still preparing us, to go to war.
Back left, Olivia.
This program really preaches a next man up mentality. How much more important does that become when it's the end of the season, guys are beat up, and you guys are also dealing with the portal?
Yeah, this whole year we've been doing a great job when it comes to next man up mentality. A lot of players have stepped up for us. But yeah, it's a lot of distractions going on in college football right now. Portal, NIL, people being hurt. But Coach Lanning's doing a great job making sure we're focused. Understanding that there's only 4 teams left. These are things that you dreamed of. I don't know if Oregon's ever been in a Orange Bowl or a Chick-Fil-A Bowl. Like these are things that as a kid that you just wish for, and you got to be present where your feet is at. Of course, the portal has a window of when it opens and closes. So a lot of it is just business. People got to make their decisions and go from there. But we're just more excited. We're ready for this game and we're ready to get going.
Second row on the left, John.
Mentioned the strength of that Texas Tech defense and with their front seven, just in terms of the way they're able to speed you up and make you have to process things so much quicker. How do you think that prepares you for this with this upcoming game against Indiana?
Yeah, Indiana has great rushers as well and great linebackers. This team is, all vets. They do a great job just, showing different things. But yeah, Texas Tech, of course, had, speedy rushers, dominant up front. Of course, they got to me, and those are things we've learned from. This whole week, the O-line has been, correcting themselves on things they messed up on this game. But I can help them out as well, climbing up into the pocket, getting the ball out of my hands quicker. So we got a lot of things to learn from there, and we're excited for this game.
Front left, James.
We mentioned before the regular season matchup about, yes, quarterbacks don't play against each other, but it's awfully built that way. And depending on what you choose to do, there's going to be a captive audience of NFL fans paying attention to you too.
Mm-hmm.
How do you mentally prepare for and head into when so much of it's going to be about you and Fernando and how you do against each other and who's ahead of who on whose draft board, depending on what you do and all those sorts of things?
Yeah, I mean, I got to give, Fernando his credit. I mean, he's had a hell of a year. He's had some great years. This is our 3rd time playing against each other. He played at UCLA this year, and then it's our 3rd time. And he's somebody that, works his tail off. A very smart quarterback, talented quarterback. But I think the biggest thing that I take away from him is just he gives the glory to God through his success, through his accolades, through his wins. He always gives time to glorify God, and that's something I appreciate and respect towards him. But yeah, it's things that of course we prayed for. I mean, at the end of the day, when I started football at 4 years old, everybody's goal is to get to the National Football League. But yeah, there's gonna be all these things going on. I'm human. I see it on social media, but I told myself that I shouldn't be engaged with it because if I do, I'm thinking about myself, and I'm not thinking about the 10 other guys on the field with me. So I got to make sure that I give them my 100% love and attention because without them, I wouldn't be in my situation I'm in now. So I'm thankful for my teammates, and it's gonna be a great game. And when I see Fernando again, we talk after the game. Whatever we do, I mean, I'm just glad got to play against him.
We're going to go to the Zoom, and for those of you on the Zoom who dropped out for a while there, what you missed will be in the Dropbox, so you can go back and check that out. We'll go to Dan.
Dante, 2-part, you just brought up your faith and how important that is to you. Just what you can say about how your faith guides you and why you keep God first. And then secondly, just how you've seen your game from game 1 to where you are right now, just how you've evolved as a quarterback and as a leader and how you've seen that be tangible.
Yeah, got to give, of course, all glory to God. He's blessed us. I mean, everybody in this room, he's blessed his team. He's blessed just, just myself, just the talents, my journey. There's been many times where I wanted to quit, but of course I got to respect and appreciate God's time and understand I have my faith in Him. But yeah, I mean, playing against Indiana, of course, the first time, of course we didn't get the result we wanted. But with this time, of course, we watched the film. We're going to adjust and make some things, and I'm excited for that game and get going.
We're going to go to James on the front left.
Just mentioned about guys going in the portal at this time, Dante, and coaches have talked a lot about how the calendar's so messed up and whether changes happen. It's also awkward at times for you as well because you have a draft decision and the portal's open and what does the future of this program do depending on what you, all those things. From a player's perspective, what could be done better or what adjustments need to be made so that there's less stress on guys like you with those decisions? or when some of your teammates are thinking about the portal, but you have a different academic calendar than some teams who
Yeah.
they don't have a decision until next week after a semifinal. So what, from a player's perspective, to somebody who's going through it and is going through it now, has to change to make this just better, to where your OC isn't in Lexington for a couple of days, to where you're not up against it, to where a program's not up against it, to where teams playing for a championship can focus on a championship.
Yeah, this whole process it's crazy. Of course, when I hit the portal, I knew where I was going right away. And of course, I was in a different situation. Like I wasn't in the playoffs. You know, as a UCLA, I wasn't, getting ready for that moment. But yeah, it's a lot that comes with it. I don't really have much to say about it because I mean, I don't want everyone to think about it, But yeah, there can be a way we can fix it. I think Coach Lanning, I've been saying, in his past interviews, different ways to change it. So whatever Coach Lanning says, I agree. So I don't know what else to say.
On the left, John.
You guys have found a bit of a different identity on offense since that first game, just going from base 11 to base 12 as you had to adapt to the receiver injuries. Just the plays are a lot of the same stuff because Kenyon and Jamari can do special things at tight end. But how do you think that just presents a different matchup for Indiana to deal with, especially when they're a team that likes to play three linebackers out there a lot?
Yeah, Indiana's linebackers, of course, are very talented. We have different personnel matches. But yeah, I mean, this whole year we've been finding different ways to become a successful offense, and Coach Stein, of course, does a great job just making multiple plays with different personnels and things of that nature. But yeah, we're excited. Everybody's feeling healthy, everybody's ready to get going, and we're going to see what happens.